say about FESPA in Munich?
Yeah.
Trying to compare it with FESPA in Berlin
Yeah.
years ago. What changed and what didn't change?
What's changed a lot is obviously the screen printing part of our event has got smaller. And I think it's got smaller ultimately because of the continued rise of digital. Digital inkjet technology continues to grow and be used more and be adopted more. But also I think the recession has made it harder for the screen printers to compete. So as a result in Europe at least, and certainly in this part of Europe, we have one hall of screen printing here. And if you can compare that to 2005, I skipped Berlin for a minute. In 2005 we were in the same venue. We had two halls of screens, so it's half. Back then though we only had one hall of digital and that was tripled. So on the one we see growth in one area and decline in another. The Berlin show in terms of size was very similar. So it's kind of leveled out. I think the market's probably reached a fairly mature level now in digital. We've also got FESPA Fabric here, which has neither grown a little bit but definitely not declined. So that's pretty much the trends in terms of exhibitors. Also, we see some new technologies coming into the show, some narrow format technologies, narrow format digital. EFI have got the Jetstream here, we have Atlantic size, and I think going forward, as FESPA evolves our shows with FESPA digital, I would imagine we'll see more of those technologies come into the market, into this sector of the market.
So what are your impressions on the day of exhibition?
Very good. I think the attendance so far has been very similar to the attendance in Berlin. What is different though is we don't anticipate as many people perhaps staying at the show overnight. So we've had more people visiting the show and leaving, perhaps, but then it's only the third day, we still have 2 more days to go. But attendance is very, very similar to Berlin, which considering the timing of the Berlin show being in 2007, right at the peak of the market, I think this all demonstrates that actually in the printing marketplace, FESPA is very strong, but actually wide format is very robust, especially when you compare our show to perhaps some shows in the commercial print sector.
What trends do you see according to the behavior of visitors to the show and exhibitors?
I think the trends are that ultimately being driven by what's happening on the shop floor and retailers. We see over the past 12 months a big shift towards focusing on efficiencies, minimising waste, improving operational efficiency, which is a sensible response to market conditions. I think in many respects, many people actually had very profitable years last year. The whole theme of this event is about catching this new wave of innovation. That's not just embracing new technology, but also producing innovative applications, innovative ideas and solutions for your customers. If you take, for example, the Roland stand and the HP stand, they're very application-led. And I think if you're asking about behaviour of exhibitors, we're seeing a move towards them more towards educating with the creative potential of the application and not just the technological features of the machine. Also, I think we're seeing more of an emphasis on software, variable data, and the kind of technology that you can use to improve performance of your business, management software. So we're seeing an introduction there, and as people move forward with their business, they want to continue to position themselves as an innovative business, but also a profitable one. These kind of requirements, I think, are going to be essential for the printer of the future. The printer of the future will need to be an IT specialist, will need to be a print specialist, and also a marketing specialist. I think those are where we're seeing the changes on the show floor.
What would you say is the mood of this exhibition?
I I'd say the mood is very upbeat, positive. I think people recognise that the market is more positive this year. Certainly not as perhaps optimistic as it was in '07, but people have a greater sense of realism. And we're lucky, I think, in this market that we're linked to what's happening with people's money, in essence, consumers. And where there is a need to buy and purchase, there is a need to invest in out-of-home advertising. This market is meeting that need. So whilst there has been a decline and a contraction, it's nowhere near as great as it is in the offset world or the commercial print world. So we should be thankful of that. However, going forward, I do think we need to be truly innovative. That's not just innovative kit, that's being innovative with how we produce our print, how we interact with our customers, and how we talk about our businesses. Maybe we talk a little too much about the features of technology. Perhaps we need to get better at actually talking about the impact of the marketing performance of the product we're producing.
So, we remember that first there was FESPA Revolution, now there's FESPA Innovation.
Yeah.
Are you ready to tell what will be the next FESPA?
The next FESPA theme, I have to say, we haven't really thought of it yet. This message, the message of innovation doesn't really stop. I think ultimately because where you have innovation, you have opportunity and growth. And if you're a business that doesn't innovate, you won't. We saw a lot of those businesses disappear in a recession. The ones that hadn't innovated and focused on price and volume, they disappear. And I don't think the innovation message stops. I mean, to an extent, I think the revolution one does. But it's a good question. We need to evolve our products for the next show going forward, to have a message that meets the needs of the market. And I have to say, I haven't got that yet. But we will have it soon. And it will be cool. I'll guarantee that. Do you like this message?
Yes.
Right.
Well, yesterday I attended European Sign Summit, and one of the phrases to help sign makers to stay in the business was go digital. Would you agree with this? And would you suggest to do the same for screen printers at present?
I think that screen printing still does something that nothing else can do. It still has an impact. It still has, especially with special effects, it can do things that no other process can match. However, if you're a screen printer and you're producing point of sale or retail or graphics, I simply think it's too difficult to survive these days. You can't compete with digital. Digital is a dynamic process. You can respond very quickly to need, and I think the screen, whilst the quality is outstanding, it can't compete. However, I know a lot of businesses have both processes, and I know a lot of businesses combine both processes. I would say if you're a pure screen printer, and you will have to be a specialist niche printer of one specific type of goods. If you're trying to compete with this kind of print, kind of out-of-home print, unless it's specifically one kind of print or one kind of thing, I don't think you can compete. I think you need probably a blend of both.
Right. And what advice would you give our readers for in order to stay in the business?
I would say, stop thinking of yourself as a printer. Think of yourself as a business person. And ask yourself questions like, am I a printer that does business, or am I a business person that prints? Because I think if we can think about business first, print second, we're able to interact with our customers at a higher level. Ultimately, our media, print, is competing with online, social media, whatever you want to call it, very fashionable, very powerful media that's ultimately more in the mindsets of the buyers of print. So I think we need to perhaps improve how we communicate, and think of the business issues, not purely the technical ones. Because our customers really don't care too much about the technical stuff. And I know I think the successful printer of the future is someone who doesn't confine himself in a box that is only printed. I think long term we're going to see printers having design facilities, smaller format printing, one-stop shop, maybe even online, producing solutions that solve marketing and business issues. And print will be a part of that. Okay.